Good morning, respected teachers, sir and ma'am. For all those who know me and for all those who don't, my name is Pranay Jain and I have been a student of this prestigious institute. Now, what I want to talk about is something that I feel is extremely crucial to especially this set of individuals that we have in our society today. So let me start by asking you, does the nation really want to know? No responses? So exactly my point. So a trending headline for the past few, I think years, a couple of years has been the Times Now News Hour debate. And I think it's something that is extremely different. I think it's something that's extremely distinct. And it's brought about some conversation. It's brought about a stir in the public about how politics work. And it's brought in a recent involvement that we as citizens have. And Arnab Goswami has been doing his job well. Which is why he's been the star of the 9 p.m. primetime television when it comes to news and politics. So let me ask you again, does the nation really want to know? But Jalpa ma'am's going to love me for this. So to what extent does the nation really want to know? You know, because when we think of politics, everybody has a certain opinion that they want to let out, but for some reason don't have the platform to. So now what we've, as a part of our IB curriculum, we were exposed to a lot of these conferences, more specifically Model United Nations conferences. So what these conferences are is, as I'd like to call them, a more sophisticated form of debate. So these conferences, in my opinion, are the most productive of its kind, for the reason being that it's not just debating about an agenda which is either good or bad, which comes with the nature of it. But again, you're coming up with something called as a draft resolution, which is, in simple words, a solution to that problem. And what they do is that they forward these solutions to the respective bodies, which makes them which if the idea is practical and if the idea can work out, then they implement them in actual legal reforms. And in my opinion, I think it's a big deal. Do you? All right. So I think everybody here has watched or watches the Times Now, the News Hour debate. I watch it religiously. Everybody in my family does. But have you ever thought, watching Times Now, in front of that TV set, you know, I should have said that. That is one, why is he saying that? You know, this is not how it should be done. This is how a solution should be implemented. This is how these politicians need to be, this is how they need to respond to the public. This is how they need to implement their solutions. And why I'm saying this to all of you is because when we go for debates, as students, as inexperienced citizens who don't really have first-hand experience of how the government really works, we have a certain platform, which I feel that people of this age group who have first-hand experience, who earn their bread and butter living under this system of government that we are in currently, and who know the ins and outs of it completely, because that is what their routine is. They do not have a platform. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Unconvention, the Indian edition. So, this idea started budding when we had to organize an event for college. And we were talking in the car. So we spoke about politics, and demonetization had just come about. The 500 and 1,000 rupee notes had just been banned. So there was a lot of conversation. But I can bet the driver who was sitting right in front must have been thinking that these guys don't really know what it's like when 500 and 1,000 rupees notes are banned. Because technically, we're not the ones dealing with the difficulties that it brought about. We're not the ones standing in lines for 2.5 hours just to get the 2,000 rupees that's going to work my day for the next, I don't know, for the next week that I will have to budget and ration. But you do. That is because, and also we feel that this set of people, teachers have had an experience in education, academics, international relations, and in my opinion are one of the most informed people about this particular set of events and this particular set of agendas that come about. But do you really have a platform to talk about them, to discuss politics, to discuss international relations. Do you really have a platform like a Model United Nations conference that you know of? But here's the question. Do you want to go for one if that was an option? If there was a platform, if we could bring to you the same experience, would you want to go? Ladies and gentlemen, I have the perfect solution for you to vent out all your frustrations about an unstable political system that we do have today, unfortunately. And I feel that a lot of times when we talk about the youth, what we're not forgetting is that we're looking at something that is in the future. Well, what are we doing to the present? Are we really critically thinking about what is going on? Even if we are, what are we doing about it? Without discussion, without draft resolutions, working papers, a logical discussion, informal, formal debate, are we really doing something about it? That is why we've brought to you something like a Model United Nations conference, which is easier for you to understand, which will bring out productive debate. And I think at this point in time where the Prime Minister has taken such drastic steps and has completely reformed, in my opinion, the political structure and the economical structure of the country, it is extremely important that this group of individuals, this set of teachers, have that platform. Do we all agree? Are we all on the same page? So teachers, I bring to you Unconvention. I would like to invite Kev to talk a little bit about the agenda. And basically what this is like a debate competition. It is like we call it the younger brother of a Model United Nations conference for this set of individuals who spent more than half their lives studying about advanced topics and have the maturity and the age. So what we're trying to do really is amalgamate the zest and the punch that the youth has, along with the age and the maturity that the opinion of a certain set of individuals possess, which in our opinion is going to be extremely, extremely productive. I'd like to invite Kev to talk a little bit about the agenda that we have going on.
All right. Good morning, teachers. Right, so for this little session, this conference we're going to have, the agenda is going to be the demonetization of the 500 and 1,000 rupee notes. Because this is a current issue and it's got the entire India buzzing, obviously it's going to be all the more interesting when we have you guys debating on it. So the reason we chose this issue is because it has, like many people have their opinions, some are for it, some are against it, and this set of the social structure is where we get, we want your opinions, we want to see what you guys think about this issue and what solutions you guys can come up for this. And so when you come for this session, this conference we're having, you need to do some research, and in the debate we're going to be expecting a lot of productive discussion, productive debate, and we need you to do, so we have our own, we've prepared a study guide in case, so if you come, you will be given a study guide, and then in that study guide we've got a background to the issue, why it is there, and we provide a lot of information on how it has made a difference to the society, what different opinions are out there. But at the end of it all, we want to know what is your opinion on it and what solutions you have it, because this part of the society is never given a platform to voice their opinions, and so we feel that such a platform will give you that recognition you need to get your voice out there. And so the agenda is, this is our agenda, and so when you come for the debate, this is what we'll be discussing upon.
All right, so now that we know the agenda, there will be certain rules of procedure that the delegates, as we call them, but then right now our participants would have to follow a kind of rules of procedure that's going to be very easy to follow. So the first thing is that if you do register for this conference, you will first be seated like the way you are, depending on the number of people that we get for this conference. For example, if we get 150 delegates, there will be 2 different committees that will be present, and each committee will be discussing the same agenda, but you will be having your, so you will be getting placards with your names on it, and there will be about 3 chairpersons who will be sitting in that room, who will be basically analyzing and just helping you throughout the conference. So if you all are talking about the demonetization of the 500 and 1,000 rupee notes, if you all kind of deviate from the topic or anything like that, these chairpersons will make sure that you all stick to the topic, and that all kinds of debate that happens is going to be formal. This is extremely formal. So the first thing that we have in our Model United conference is a general speakers list. So the general speakers list basically is that each delegate or each participant that wishes to speak about the issue will first come and introduce their views on the topic. So you come up, like if you all are sitting in a room like this, and let's just say Joya ma'am comes up and she speaks. So she would have to be recognized by the chairperson first. So she would have to raise her placard saying that she wants to speak in the general speakers list, and then she will come up and she will, talk about what her views on the opinions are. And then after that, if she wishes, she can be open to comments or questions from the participants. So the participants can ask her questions about her views and opinions. Okay? The next thing that comes into play is formal debate. Now, when I say formal debate, it means that after your general speakers list is over, after each of the participants come up and talk about their opinion, express what they feel, we will be moving into how this affects society. Let's just, as an example. So if we're talking about the whole agenda is demonetization of the 500 and 1,000 rupee notes, your sub-agenda could be how it's affecting the society. And then all the participants who wish to speak about that certain topic will come up and again express their opinions about that topic. So that's how you know that how many people have opinions that are similar to yours and how many people have opinions that could differ from yours. The next that we come to is informal debate. So informal debate is basically where you all, now that you all know who has similar opinions, you all can form blocks. Now these blocks are basically groups where you group up with the people that have similar views as you do, and you all come up with a solution paper. Yeah. So a solution paper will basically include all of your viewpoints of your respective block or group and about what you all want to do about it. What solutions do you all put forth? So these solutions will be put into a form of a document, and that is when, your entire committee will vote upon it, and then it will pass or fail depending on the amount of people that vote for your your solution paper.
So I understand that this may be a little difficult for you to understand at first, but we will be having another session with you guys, considering for the participants, explaining in much more detail about procedure. However, the crux of the matter is, why would you want to participate in something like this? That is because if you have an opinion about anything as crucial as this, which is going to alter anything as diverse as buying ration to making long-term investments, if you have a voice, we're the ones you need to convey it to. And this, we've considered all your schedules. We've considered the facts that all of you are already occupied with a lot of work. And considering that, I think the agenda is quite relatable. There is also not much work that needs to be done, but we think that the mental capacity that all of us possess here, especially in this room, is amazing. And if we can channel this into debate and on such important matters, I think there can be nothing great. On a concluding note, we would like to be inspired rather than inspire. It is because everyone present in this room has had first-hand experience. Considering we are the youth of this nation, but as of this moment, I don't think we really have a practical approach. As speaking about us, we do not have a practical approach towards this issue. And individuals with such perspectives, if we could hear them out, I think that'd be nothing greater for us that we could probably achieve. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We're also open to questions if there are any. Yes, sir?
Hello. Yeah, I just wanted to know that how would verification of views put forth by the teachers be done, whether it's the truth or whether it's just a ball game that they are trying to put forth, or even submission of the resultant views of groups, will that be put forth to a higher governmental level or somebody else in the government, so that our work which we are doing towards discussions of such public points, is something productive? It is not a wastage of time in a way.
Yes, sir. Fantastic point brought out. So basically what this is first of all, verification of views. Every participant will be required to refer to authorized sources. Now these authorized sources can be either one of either two newspapers, it is either Reuters or Al Jazeera, and then Reuters or Al Jazeera, and we will be accepting government documents or prime ministerial statements or any statements of any higher authority, which we will be in check with. Speaking of validating this debate, which is an excellent point brought out, when we've been to a lot of these MUs where they don't really forward our draft resolutions to any higher authority, making it completely invalid. What we're doing now is speaking with municipalities, to different banks about all of this, because what they require is public input, and what we are deriving from you is typically public input. And also, this is going to go to higher authorities. And if the solutions are drastic and if they are really out of the box, which can aid the solution better, they will be implementing it. We're taking the next step to this event would also be something on a more global platform, which would be discussing issues with. Which would be discussing issues regarding the United Nations and agendas that go world over. So in that case, we'd be going to the World Trade Center. We're already in talks with them. We'd be going to the UN HRC committee that's already in Assam, so we're in talks with them too. But as of now, as for this event, we're also going to forward all of all of the draft resolutions to the municipalities. And the one that passes, I'm sure, I think they would be inviting to any opinions that the public may have to convene their process. Also, these commercial banks have already opened up to us and asked us for the draft resolutions, since it helps them to function better. Because I think everybody out here is aware that there has been a lot of discrepancies with banks and withdrawals and all of that. So we'd be taking all of that into account, and hence the topic, sir, demonetization of the 500 and 1,000 notes. Has that answered your question, sir? Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to know one thing. The demonetization is the current issue going on, no doubt. But is there any plan for discussing the global warming, pollution, and other corruption, other topics also are on the agenda after some time, or is it only restricted to this topic?
Ma'am, for this particular session, we've chosen demonetization also because there's constant updates. So, for example, the withdrawal limits are changing from week to week. What that gives you an idea is that this isn't a stuck-up topic to talk about, because nobody can predict what's going to happen the next week or no, and there's where comes the challenge. Also, this issue, because this is a slightly more pressing issue at the moment, and there's so much that we can do, and for an issue which is not as specific as this, will take a lot more time to discuss. So as of this conference, which is going to be of a duration of tentatively 3 hours, we think that this is going to be...
Okay, for the pipeline down, you have the other topics also to be discussed, right?
Yeah.
There are some other topics also will be discussed later.
Yes, ma'am. This, what we're doing here is an experiment set. So there will be more sessions. Based on the kind of response we get, we will have to adapt accordingly too. So, because we are also freshers when it comes to something like this. Because this set of people hasn't been explored. A platform like this hasn't been offered really to anybody of this particular set of the society. So, on the basis of the performance of that. Yes, ma'am. But definitely there's a lot more to come. And ma'am, also this event is going to be taking place in school. As of now, the date is the 7th of January. And it's going to be in school. There is no charge whatsoever for registration. All you need to do is fill in the form. And we will be conducting and letting you know about mock sessions as and when required. Are there any more questions, ma'am? So, also, the forms, the registration forms for this particular debate is going to be given out to you guys as of this moment. But you can, if you don't receive it anyhow, you can contact either one of us. And also you can fill in the forms and give it to either Anurag or Tejas. And ultimately, my final plea to you would be, even if you don't end up participating in something like this, even if you don't end up being the most vivid speaker, I encourage you to do something like this. That is because not only for students, but for other individuals as well, I think it's going to be a great learning curve. Things that haven't been implemented, and I think it's next level critical thinking is when this idea comes to mind. So that is all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, good morning, teachers. Morning, children. That was very nice. Pranay and team. Today's session, it reminds me of a very famous statement by Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of the top philosopher and motivator. Ralph Waldo Emerson is talking about what is success. He's going ahead and saying success is to have a green garden patch which you know that you have created, so that when you're not there on this earth, that garden patch would be there to produce the green and the flowers around it for the rest of them to enjoy. He goes on to say that to be success is to create a child who you would now would carry the truth of the universe for what the universe stands for. He goes on to say that to be successful is to be able to withstand the criticism honestly from the people around you. We generally, as you know, do not like criticism. We need appreciation. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna in verse 14, chapter 17, is talking about that you should be able to speak sweet, prayer, and you should be able to speak the satya, the truth. You have to speak the truth, and you have to make sure that the truth is palatable by the people. Now, if you're being truthful, it doesn't mean that just because you have to be truthful, you have to go around and telling everybody what you feel about them. So that is why it should be prayer. But he goes on to say that it doesn't mean just to speak sweet, which is not the truth. You should do that, to be prayer. So you should be truthful. And this convention which is coming in, you should also know how to present it so that it is palatable, receivable by the people. And as the group is presenting to you for your platform to the country, I want you to recollect a statement we often talk about, that what is education is for the current time for our children is to combine Western science, so that is the Western technology, Western thinking power, coupled with, says Brahmacharya, Vedanta. Vedanta is the end of all knowledge. In anything, any topic you can talk about, you will find there is something. So delve into it to know. And what is Brahmacharya? Brahmacharya is being able to deal with infinite. Brahma me acharo. Brahma is infinite. What does it mean? If you look carefully, very few of us will be able to understand. What is infinite is which is beyond finite. Have you noticed you and I, we are only delving into the world called finite world? Our body, our bank account, our car, our house, this is my family. Isn't it? This is my country, my city, my state. I like this, I don't like that. This is all finite. What is finite? Finite is which is going to get destroyed. Anything which is with this nature, you and I are created with nature, isn't it? The 5 elements. No? The earth, water, air, ether, etc. It's going to destroy. All of us are going to. But what is infinite is the truth, which is India's flag. What is it talking about? The Ashok Stamba. Satyameva Jayati. The truth shall always prevail. It is infinite. So when we say Brahma me Acharo is the education, you have to become infinite truth. Along with your opinion, delving into to know more into these topics. And the third part of it is Shraddha. Self-respect. What is Shraddha? The meaning of Shraddha I just came to know a few days ago. All these years I used to look at Shraddha as you and I know, is self-respect, it's respect. And I was amazed to find it in Vedanta. Shraddha is not just self-respect, which ends up being that, but Shraddha is having faith in the Supreme. That there is a supreme energy. Call it unified field, those who don't believe in God. Call him Allah or God, in whatever way you call. That is called respect. So when you see God in the people around you, in your teachers, in your parent, in your friends, in your husbands and wife, in your children, that is called Shraddha. So you see the God in them. The education should have the Western element, which is called criticality. Most of the criticality comes in from there. So criticism along with the creativity, both should be coupled together. Keep it infinite in your talking, etc. Open up. Be able to, what Ralph Waldo Emerson is the Western philosopher saying, be able to withstand the honest criticism of whatever your points of views are, so that your mind expands more, you have more input, more data, more information. You have a good day, keep smiling. Thank you very much, team. You keep doing well. Pranay and the team, I wish you good luck. I would like the team to go ahead and think about something called evidence, which you all are very clear about, documentation of whatever it is happening, whether digital, whether on paper, or both together would be ideal, should be there, and some audio video too. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you for the form.